Hello, I'm Dilly Barlow. Now, you may be wondering what I'm doing here on this wild and windy day at the seaside. Well, I've got a question for you. What has this got to do with this? To do with this? To do with one of these? Got to do with this?
How's this work experience thing going anyway, young Alex?
It's great. This is my second week now.
Where were you last week?
Oh, in the planning office.
Look, you won't find me behind a desk all day.
We went on 2 site visits.
Right, this is the MDF, and don't be afraid to ask any questions.
What's an MDF, Mr. Griffin?
Call me Bob. They all know me as Bob round these parts. Didn't he tell you what an MDF is last week?
No, Bob.
I'll put you right as soon as I've run this jumper on the frame, then we'll be done.
Jumper. Looks like a piece of wire to me. Bob, what's an AFD?
AFD? Looks like one of those anti-smoking campaigns again.
I don't think so, Bob. It says exercise extreme caution when drilling, soldering and welding.
Soldering? Oh, that? Yeah, it just means we've got to be more careful because of these new fire detector things. Never had an accident in 15 years. Look, even wear the goggles. Do me a favour. Go out the van and get some bread. Toasters in kitchen. And while you're there, will you put the kettle on? Tea's up.
Have a fire alarm at Ruffington, Dick.
Trust that to ring now.
Shall I get it, Bob?
No point. It won't be for me.
I don't mind.
Nobody knows we're here. Besides, we're not supposed to be here for another hour anyway.
Right, there's no reply. I'm calling the fire brigade out.
Bloody hell, he's coming here.
Made the connection yet? Well, it was here in Scarborough on the 14th of November 1990 that the telephone exchange was seriously damaged by fire. The fire started in a small office, where it burnt for up to 2 hours before spreading to the main distribution frame. It could have been started by a faulty VDU, a dropped cigarette, or an overloaded electrical circuit. Nobody really knows. But what we do know is that automatic fire detection would probably have saved the installation. Operational units, both large and small, are being fitted with automatic fire detectors. Your building may already have them, or perhaps you're next on the programme. This small device on the ceiling is a smoke detector. Now this one in the kitchen area is affected by heat change. Although it looks very similar, this can actually be triggered by, say, a kettle left unattended, or if the temperature in the room rises to around 70 degrees. Now either of these could have been set off by the activities of Bob or Alex. The detectors are linked to a main control centre to give early warning of any possible fire, hence the arrival of the fire brigade.
This is where all the directory inquiries come through. It's all computer controlled now.
Oh, I saw the computers last week at the network operations thingy.
All right, but it's not the same system. Come on, I'll show you. What name is that? Which town, please? Thank you. The computer takes over now and gives the number.
See, coffee? Coffee, no sugar, please.
What do you think of BT then?
I will.
test. Every Monday at 10 o'clock.
We had a fire at the network centre. Not exactly at the centre, it was at some small exchange. But the alarm came up there.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh, it wasn't anything serious. Someone was soldering and set the thing off.
We've had a couple of false alarms here. They blame it on people smoking in restricted areas. One day we had to clear the building. Pouring down it was.
Is all this stuff new then?
Yes, I think we are one of the first. That is with the automatic bit, that's new. Once it was set off by a swarm of harvest flies.
Oh, those horrible little black things.
You're not kidding, they got right through to my scalp. You know, it took days to get rid of the feeling.
For normal sensitivity levels, the smoke detector will be found in places like offices. Where greater sensitivity is required, an aspiration-type detector is used. Now this is a digital switching centre. The equipment in here needs air conditioning, which means that if there was any smoke, it would not rise up into the air, but get dragged across the room. So down here, this pipe samples the air through these little holes. And over here, this monitor can detect the smallest amount of smoke in the atmosphere.
Hi. Didn't you go to BT as well?
Yes, were you there?
Yeah, I saw your name on the list.
Wasn't all what I expected.
Why's that?
I honestly didn't realise how complicated it all is.
Piece of cake.
You obviously didn't work in the same places as I did then.
Yeah, well, I was where you need brains.
Well, let's see. If you've got a brain, you'll obviously know how the network is controlled.
Well, there were some bits I didn't understand, but I don't think some of them knew either.
We did have one bit of excitement though. We had to call the fire brigade out.
Told you smoking is dangerous.
Don't talk stupid. There was this alarm at a telephone exchange. Turned out to be nothing, but we didn't know that at the time. What a fuss there was afterwards though.
Where was that?
Oh, it was at some place called Ruffington.
Ah, right. Well, I must be off. See you later.
See you then.
When you consider how many buildings BT has to protect, and perhaps even more crucial, how vital the network is to the customer, then you'll realise how important this project is. Obviously, such changes take time. Not only time to install the equipment, but also for changes in the way you work and for the new procedures you'll need to adopt in the future. Had Bob answered the telephone, calling out the fire service would have been prevented. So, what has this got to do with this, to do with this, to do with you?